Bobby Thompson, man, it is so good to see your face after after being on in the middle of the insanity. How are you, brother?
Hello again. How are you? I'm doing well. Thanks for
Uh,
inviting me back.
I'm telling you, it's like a fresh breath of fresh air to see you guys after we talked and after everybody was dealing with things on their own level and going through what they had to go through and making it out of it. And man, you really have. We'll talk a second about how you're doing those last few months, but you seem to have jumped right back in. A lot of gigs coming up. Talk about the new record in a minute, but how are you feeling? How are things motoring for you?
Things are pretty good now. I feel like I got my endurance back when we first started playing again. I guess it was April or May. It took a little bit just getting back, back on the bike again.
Right.
And then the summer hit and the summer was busy and now we're in the, getting in the fall. So
Yeah.
things have been going well. I mean, I've been busy as I've ever been, really.
Uh,
Minus going on the road, but busy in town. Yeah.
yes. Absolutely. And that is certainly something that everybody, that a lot of your colleagues, people that you play with, in fact, the people you played with last night, Andy Hamburger, was on with me about 2 weeks ago, and what a great ride we had, and what an amazingly talented and respected guy he is, and to be able to, and he really thinks highly of you, and that was the community thing, and you had to love the fact, Bobby, over the last few months how the community stayed together and how you and people like Jenny and everybody and you
Yeah.
guys, I mean, created bands, kept your own music going. How did that feel though? At least that was a
I,
positive.
I think that was one thing that kind of was unexpected. We didn't know, everything sort of broke down last year, and then we started putting them back together, and some new things came out. Old things kind of died away, and some new things started to blossom,
Right.
and that was the exciting part.
Right.
With Jenny and Soul Shake and
So
stuff like that, and
yeah,
just never know what's coming around the corner. And that's the exciting part.
that is Honey Larks does another evidence of that because they didn't expect that at all, and it's just wonderful what you guys have done. We got a holiday show coming up at Jam and Java, which just sounds spectacular with an amazing cast of folks. You have a number of release parties for Old Home, and you must
Yeah.
feel good. Your post was really moving, and a lot of you is. A lot of you is moving. The post about the record, we'll talk about that. But it must feel good in general to come out with some music out of this and feel good about that part of this.
Yeah, I'm usually on a trajectory of like once I start recording, I don't take too long to get an album out because for me, I start writing new material, and then you need to get one out to get one to keep working on it. But with the delay of 2020, it didn't really make sense to put out an album when we're just kind of sitting at home. So I was putting out singles and an EP. So some of the songs are already been out there. Now I'm pulling them all together. The fun part is designing the CD,
Yeah.
the artwork, and then getting it out there to the world so it can fly off from my
Right.
desktop.
Speaking of the artwork on the cover is you.
Yeah.
At what age and when was that, and why was that a piece that you wanted to put on? It's wonderful. It's a great look.
There's no date on it, but talk to my sisters and the style of clothes and the couch is looking like early 80s. Um, but what happened with some of the songs is one of the songs, Someone Else's Blues, is about my childhood.
Right.
And that was written almost 2 years ago.
Wow.
And that came out as a single last year.
Right.
And in the summertime, I spent a lot of time kind of archiving things in my basement, tapes and stuff, old stuff. And I found a box of 8mm videos.
Right.
And I digitized them, and there was a bunch of video of me and my sisters and old stuff. So I made the video for the song. It's up
Right.
on YouTube. And I thought, well, then why not kind of go with that same theme and find another photo? That's why I used that photo of me, because it was just to kind of, people seem to like that one. I like it. I'm smiling and having a good time.
Right.
And I am living in the house that I first ever lived in. And a lot of the songs I've written in this home.
Wow.
So this is like this house that I'm in is like a family member.
Old home.
I got to dedicate it to where I grew up, where the family was like,
Oh, well,
loving and fighting and everything in between,
we talked about that, Bobby, on the show. You were saying, well, when I asked you what you were doing to keep sane and kind of do,
Yeah.
you said you were down in the basement going through stuff, finding things, and look what it did. It helped sprout our old home out a little bit. Your post was pretty, again, moving, and recovering from a broken heart isn't easy, but one thing for sure, it makes for plenty of material to write from. It sure does. I mean, that is a constant in music, that tragedy and sadness can lift you up and write fabulous music. The hardest, most painful album you've ever made was another thing you wrote, Bobby. Talk a little bit about, just getting through and letting music be your salve.
Well, I think part of it was very personal, and then part of it was very social, being disconnected from people. And my identity as a musician was just kind of, well, for a lot of us, was just kind of wiped out for a little bit.
Totally.
And then my identity in my personal life was kind of changed.
Yeah.
So I had to rebuild. And music has always been that thing that's kind of helped me stay stable. It's like, oh, even if I couldn't play guitar or something, it's something humming or singing or writing or dancing, some kind of musical activity. Luckily, I get to play the guitar and write songs. So I had plenty of time to do that. And I thought, well, life gives you lemons. What are you going to do? Right. So we're going to come out of the worst of times into other times. So I figured, why not get the jump on it?
Yeah. 8 original songs.
Yeah.
Almost all acoustic too, which is wonderful, because we talked about that in the show, about you playing both your electric life and your acoustic life. Isn't that wonderful that this is? Yeah. And you played electric bass on some of the songs, but I mean, largely acoustic. That's what was the reasoning behind that? It just felt right at this moment.
Yeah, I think it was partially because I've had some acoustic EPs or singles before. And in 2019, at the end, I was on a solo tour, playing house concerts just by myself. And I thought, why not have an album to back that up? So the plan was to release it in 2020, but that got pushed back. So really, I'm putting out an album that I wanted to put out last year.
Yeah.
So
very common.
What's a little delay? No big deal, right?
No big deal whatsoever, because what people want is music right now, Bobby. And you felt that when you've been playing live, not only outside at places like Jam and Java and things like, and State last night, but also back inside, slowly but surely. I think I mentioned to you, I'll be playing JVs with my big band in 2 weeks, and I cannot believe that we're actually playing live inside somewhere. And people will show up as they feel comfortable, but we'll have a blast. And you have just been keeping the live music going. Speaking of that, we're going to be real lucky, and we're going to hear something from this record. It's a beautiful song. Where did the soul of Old Home come from the musical standpoint, from this kind of song, Bobby?
Well, I think it was really a song that was kind of, when you listen to the album when it comes out, it's kind of that quieter instrumental piece. Yeah. And I had considered writing lyrics for it, but sometimes it's just nice to have a peaceful kind of song that you could just lay back to, especially after a night of electric music.
Yeah.
I think that's why I play acoustic also, because it gives my ear a little bit of a sonic rest.
Right.
I think if we were just blasting all the time, I wouldn't hear you right now. So.
Right.
So the acoustic is nice, and I've just been in love with these Weizenborns for a while. So, it's just, it comes natural to just,
Yeah, absolutely. Very lucky to have a little bit of, here, take it away, Bobby. Here's Old Home. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. That is just those little that little part of it that just keeps coming and sweeping through is so beautiful. Wonderful job, Bobby. Congratulations on Old Home. Congratulations on making it through. Pain also hit us all in different ways, and for sure, some of that comes out in music. But my gosh, man, you are soaring out. What's the best way for people to find what you're doing right now? I know Facebook is a place, but you want to see the video, everybody, too, of Someone Else's Blues, which is absolutely wonderful. But where's the best place to find Bobby Thompson these days?
I'm trying to keep it easy with bobbytmusic.net.
There we
BOBBYTmusic.net. So go there and catch the electric, the acoustic shows, all kinds of stuff. I'm always adding new things to the website.
And they can find the Old Home there as well.
They can find parts of it so far because it's coming out in 2 weeks officially on the 19th.
Day before your birthday.
Day before my birthday.
That's great. Well, happy birthday in advance. And look, so wonderful to see you again. I've felt so so much for all of you during the last year and a half of 85 plus guests on Living on Music, and now to be able to jump in and do these sound checks with you and just again check in on how you're doing. And man, you're continuing, so keep going. Soul Shake, I know, is going to crank along too. What a great thing with Buddy and Andy and you and Jenny and the crew. We'll talk soon, but keep in close touch, and thanks so much for being with me, man.
Thanks again for having me on.
All right, take care.
Take care.